joining in today. Welcome to the meeting of Toastmasters meeting of 309. I am Sanskar Mitra, your official Sergeant at Arms of the club today. The mission of Toastmasters Club is always to provide a positive and a support and a positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication skills and leadership skills and resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. To ensure this, please follow some certain ground rules. Ground rules being, please ensure all your cell phones are on silent and switched off mode. You have 10 seconds to do so. Please speak responsibly about religion, sex, or politics in your speeches. Use the feature of raising your hands whenever is needed, thumbs up when needed. Don't use Zoom messaging in between the speeches until required. Until not required, please put yourself on mute during the meeting. If you're playing the role, no need to check whether you are audible or not. One of us will let you know. And please make sure all the role players have added their role name as prefix and their real name as suffix to the username of the meeting. You have 10 seconds to recheck and implement if missed. And that is for my Sergeant Arms. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Vidu as presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanskar. Today we have a very interesting theme, decision-making frameworks. With this, I would like to hand it over to our TM mod for today, Toastmaster Yashi. Over to you.
Vidhu, do you want to do some presiding officer activity? We'd love to hear from you also. I think you're in a hurry to hand over, but
Okay, so what should I cover? Like, is it the
anything and
structure?
everything as a presiding officer of the club?
Okay.
Do you want to invite guests and talk to them, or do you want to set the setting, how beautiful the weather is, or not?
Okay, all right. So this is a very different kind of a meeting today since we have all the role players. So we look forward to such meetings, and we have a very interesting topic for today, which is decision-making framework, which will be covered by our Toastmaster Yashi. Do we have any guests? No. Okay.
Satyaket now doesn't qualify. But
Yeah,
he's
yes.
taking
I
it.
don't think so.
Yes. Okay. I think with this, Anshuman, anything else which I...
No. Over to you, Yash.
Okay. Over to you, Toastmaster Yash.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, if we have any. So, good morning, everyone. Every single day, we make different choices. How many of you were making a choice even to, snooze the hit the snooze button, or wake up without the alarm? Any hand raise? Okay. Do you also struggle to make decision between exercising or sleeping more?
Sleeping, yes. Exercising, no.
Between saving money and spending on your FIFA, cricket, Dream 11?
I have a lot of spending habits, so I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
Awesome. So, as the researcher says that, on an average, we as adults make thousands of decisions almost every day, and yet nobody teaches us on how to make decisions. Today, if we look at leaders, CEO, and even entrepreneurs, successful professionals use decision-making frameworks to reduce emotions, minimize bias, and make better choices. So today, our theme as decision-making framework, the art of choosing wisely. Throughout today's meeting, I will invite each of you to think that how do I make decisions? How many of you majorly make decisions based on your emotions? Okay. And out of fear? Ever happened that you make decisions out of fear?
Once in a while.
Once in a while. And how many times do you feel that you use your logic? Vidhu is first one to say yes. Mayank is there. Yes. I can see couple of hand raised. Okay. And also from your experience, like maybe something has happened in the past and then you decide upon maybe I should trust this person or not trust this person. There are so many decisions we generally happen to take, right? Today, I will be talking about three frameworks with all of you. But before that, I would like to know how many of you have constantly stayed on, I will start next Monday. I'm sure every one of us has done that once in our lifetime that I'll start going to gym next time from next Monday onwards. So congratulations, all of us have experienced the Eisenhower matrix without knowing its name. The first framework I would be introducing is Eisenhower matrix. It is a basically Heisen Metrics is basically task management tool that helps you organize how you can prioritize your task by their urgency, by how important they are, using the right tools, asking the four questions. Like there are four quadrants that you can put your life, put the important questions in the four quadrants, which is going to help you to make decisions based on the same. And you will be able to uh, take the actions basis whether this needs to be addressed urgently, whether you it's not that urgent but needs to be actioned upon, you need to delegate it somehow, or you can ignore it simply. So if I talk about Eisenhower metrics, we always have the first quadrant is urgent and important. How many of you have come prepared for the speech today? I'm sure many of us would be working on key. Like if we talk about Toastmasters, so we were getting into the context that how important it is for us as a speaker, you want to develop your skills, and as a public speaker, you would like to work on that. So it comes in the quadrant important and urgent. And some of you must have thought about that maybe I'll take the role next week, and you might have put the same into urgent and not important. So to give you another life example for it, like maybe completing a critical project that is due by the end of the day, we generally have it as a urgent and important. Then the quadrant 2 generally talks about scheduling now, not urgent, but we can do that. Like maybe researching on implementation of automations or meeting with the mentor to discuss career growth strategies. That can be one of the examples. So the third quadrant is urgent but not important. We can delegate it. For example, replying to any of the generic customer queries in our day-to-day life or reviewing routine reports, we can always delegate. But is it what we can eliminate now? Something which is not urgent and not important that falls in our quadrant 4, which we can easily eliminate. If I talk about Toastmasters to relate with, in our quadrant 1, can anyone help me? What can be there something which is important and urgent?
Filling up role players.
Okay. Maybe speech tomorrow or speech today. That comes under quadrant 1. Do it now. Then coming, preparing for the DTM, maybe we schedule it. That comes whenever we are going to schedule something that is going to be part of your quadrant 2. Important, but not that urgent because this is something which will need more preparations to it. Then comes your maybe WhatsApp notifications. How many of you have so many unread messages on your WhatsApp on regular basis and you're not able to catch up? Maybe on day-to-day life you will be lagging behind. So WhatsApp notifications, sometime you might happen to delete unnecessary arguments. Also you can always postpone getting into like who is going to play with your sanity and keep the momentum going. How many of you, I'm sure one time or the other, we all have postponed important things in life, maybe health checkup, we would have given a backseat to it, or maybe, always thought about that we are going to learn something which is going to upscale and prepare for a next better job. We always think about doing something better, but are we doing or taking an action on that? So that's how we can always put things that how important it is for us, or how important for us to take that decision right now. Whether it's related to medical emergency, it is definitely important. If it's car breakdown, you need to fix that, otherwise you will not be able to move somewhere. If it's about exercising, it is important. If you're looking for a longer picture, it is part of quadrant 2, because you know that at the long term you are looking at your health. Spending time with family is obviously important. And then in quadrant 3, where it's like not important and not urgent, endless calls, generally our office meetings which are aligned with another meeting, that what we have to do in another meetings, we can definitely ignore or delegate it to somebody. WhatsApp random messages, someone else phone. And in the fourth, again, to delete endless Instagram scrolling. We started with a view of one reel but ended up watching for 45 minutes. And in today's meeting, our tag team will help us focus on what is important but often ignored, and these small changes can determine the quality of our communications. So, to help us identify these important aspects, I would now like to invite our general evaluator who will be introducing our today's tag team. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Ashutosh, who will be general evaluator for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yashi. So I was carried away by that interesting topic you were taking. So meanwhile, as a general evaluator, I will be evaluating the overall conduct of the meeting along with my supporting tag team members, which I will invite to introduce their roles now. And we all comprehensively submit the overall conduct and the good and not so good part of the meetings and learnings towards the end of the meeting in the evaluation section when called upon. So firstly, I will invite Toastmaster Anshuman to explain his role as a timer. Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Ashutosh. As a timer, I will be timing the roles that will be played in the meeting today, which includes the speaker, whom I'll be timing for 5 to 7 minutes, with the green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes, with 30 seconds grace to wrap up the speech, unless it's icebreaker speech, which I presume it's not happening today. Next, we have the table topics. So in table topics, we'll have 1 to 2 minutes, maximum 2 minutes to speak on a spontaneous topic, where green card will be shown at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and red card at 2 minutes. Last but not the least, for evaluation section, we have 3 minutes with green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and red card 3 minutes with 30 seconds buffer for all the roles. I hope all of us adhere to the given time to keep the meeting flowing. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashutosh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman, for explaining the role in detail and the essence of timing in the meeting. And also, I will invite Toastmaster Vidhu to explain her role as a language evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. So today I will be playing a role of a language evaluator. My role is to appreciate the richness of the language used today, call upon the areas of improvement, so that we all can become more impactful speakers. The word of the today is enormity. I'll just post the meaning and the example of it in the chat, and would appreciate everybody to use it while delivering their speeches, table topics, and broadly I'll be highlighting the positives, which will be more like using the right words, anecdotes, or any kind of idioms, or the improvement areas, which will be like filler words, repetition of words, and the pacing, articulation, if there's any grammar areas where we can do better. So that will all of these will be covered as part of my language evaluator role. And I'll be presenting the report towards the end. the meeting. With this, I'll now hand it over to you, Toastmaster Ashutosh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vidu, for explaining the role in detail and the sense of the language in the speak communication. And that's it from my side, Toastmaster Yashi. So we will comprehensively submit the report, and overall, I will also share the report on the conduct of meeting towards end of the third part of the meeting when called upon. So over to you again.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Every Toastmasters begin with a simple decision that I will give one speech, then another, and then another. Those speeches belong to the most valuable quadrant of the Eisenhower matrix and important but not urgent. They don't demand your attention today, but they shape the communicator we become tomorrow. So, our next speaker has made that investment. So, please help me welcome speaker number one. But before that, help me welcome the speech evaluator of speaker number one, Toastmaster Anshuman, who will be evaluating the speech for Toastmaster Vineet. You are on mute.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Yashi. So I welcome back Toastmaster Vineet for a long while, and we have been eagerly waiting to hear from him for his level 1 project 2 speech, which will be giving a speech on any topic, taking a feedback and working on that feedback to improve in the next iteration. I really look forward to Toastmaster Vineet's speech, and as a timer, I'll be noting down a speech for 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Vineet. Look forward to your speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Yashi.
I'm really sorry, Toastmaster Vineet. I don't know the speech title. If you can share with us.
Yeah, it's coin flipping.
Sorry?
Coin flipping.
Coin flipping. Toastmaster Vineet, coin flipping, Toastmaster Vineet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishi, and especially thanks to Toastmaster Anshuman for trapping me again during my second week of joining the club again. When I saw the message of Anshuman that I have been assigned a speech last week, maybe on the Sunday itself, Saturday, Sunday, I was thinking, was it urgent or important that he chose me to give a speech? And I couldn't decide it. So I thought I'll decide it later. And now at the end of the week, this week, when the Friday came in and I didn't have any topic to talk about, I spent literally 2 hours scratching my head last night that what should I talk about? Then I looked at what is the theme of the day. Oh my goodness, that's a decision-making framework. That's very common, relevant for everyone in our day-to-day life. We consciously, unconsciously take a lot of decisions in our life that we don't even remember downstream. And with that thought, I would want every one of you to meet someone who has made more decision for me in my life than I would like to admit. And this is my official decision-making framework. Don't worry, I'm not actually running my jobs this way. But here is a strange thing. Number of times I have literally flipped a coin to decide something, maybe 5 or 7 times in last 6 months. And the number of times I probably should have, instead of agonizing for hours to decide what to do, I would say a lot more than I could do that. I could have used coins a lot more than that. Because over last few months, I've realized that real enemy in decision making is not that you will be making a wrong choice. It's actually not making any choice at all. Just to give an example, few weeks back, on a Friday evening, I was trying to solve a problem on my laptop and usually doing my office work. I was doing some technical work and I came across an error in my code. An error was simply that I'll just try to reframe it very simple. Your columns are overflowing. That is my data column is too small for the numbers I'm trying to fit in. So my basket was very small. I was trying to fit in more apples to it. It was a very simple problem to solve. And I had two options in front of me. Option one, there is a quick fix. Adjust the settings. I could adjust the settings and silence the error under a minute. And option two, that actually I could increase the size of my basket. In other way, I actually could widen the column to have more numbers in it. But that second option requires backing up my table, recreating the correct table, and then reinserting the data, and then verifying each and every record, and only then dropping the backup. But what I did, I just sat there for almost literally 45 minutes, toggling between the two tabs, reading the same error message over and over and over. And not because the decision was hard, right? Because I was scared of being in the wrong direction, which I was not aware at that point. What if I was continuously thinking, what if this quick fix will break something downstream? What if the proper fix will take too much time that I miss my deadlines? 45 minutes on this simple problem statement of column resizing. But why did I freeze? Why did I take that much time? And that's what I realized afterwards. That freeze was never about that data inaccuracy or something. And it almost never is. The problem is not about the problem at your hand. It is about something else. We tell ourselves we are still analyzing our problem, but there are things which usually happening around that. The first is, like Toastmasters just mentioned, there is a fear of regret or the guilt. Not the fear of wrong column type or wrong decision. The fear of feeling stupid later if I had picked the other option. Second, we confuse more thinking with better thinking. And I had genuinely run out of options in the first 5 minutes of identifying that problem. The other 40 were just replaying the same two options on the loop. And the third and the biggest one is that one that stings the most. Sometimes we are not just gathering the information, we are just avoiding the discomfort of just commitment. So that line actually stayed with me. We don't want more information. We want someone else to give us permission to not to worry too much. Like we using someone else's shoulder to fire a gun. That's what we do. So anytime after that, anytime if I come across any problem statement, decision making, big or small, I ask myself 3 questions. It's a simple framework which anyone can use in our day-to-day life decision makings. First one is, whatever I'm going to choose, is this reversible? Can I undo it without any much damage? In my case, the table backup meant yes. Even the risky option was safe. If something is reversible, why would I deliberate too much? And why not to pick? Second, will it matter in a week or a year or 10 years? And be honest, most decisions we make and we sweat over won't. Third, are we actually gathering more information, new information, or we just avoiding the discomfort of choosing? If I asked these questions myself on that evening, I would have picked the right option or maybe any option in under 60 seconds. Reversible, low long-term stakes at hand. And for the rare decisions, if you have any, for rare decisions or bigger problems, if you don't have any solution at your hand and you're not able to decide between the good options you have, that's actually when this coin flips works best. Because the moment it lands, you feel the flicker of disappointment. And that's when you know what you wanted all along without looking at the coin. So next time when you get stuck making choices, use coin wisely. You know what to do. You have this framework at your hand. 3 questions you need to ask yourself. But I'm not asking you to flip the coin every time you make decisions. I'm asking you to, the fear that holding you back from deciding is usually bigger than the actual cost of deciding wrong. The most doors we walk in are not the one ways. The most decisions we make are not the one that are permanent. That's what we feel in the moment you're stuck in, but that's not the realities. So next time you catch yourself circling between among the options, ask the 3 questions yourself. And if you still can't decide, you know where to find me. And thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Yashi.
Wonderful speech, Toastmaster Vineet. I'm also wondering that to get back on the quadrants, if we what we were talking about, which where to flip my coins, whether I need to plan, do it now, or maybe delegate and delete it. So wonderful speech. Now coming to the preparing a speech isn't always urgent, in every day, but it is certainly important, and we wish to grow as a communicator and leader. Our next speaker chose to spend time in quadrant 2, preparing, practicing, and polishing a speech long before stepping onto the stage. So it is now my pleasure to invite the next speaker. But before that, I would like to invite the second speech evaluator, Toastmaster Satyaket Das, to share the objective for Toastmaster Sanskar speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yashi. Uh, as the speech evaluator for the next speaker, so my role is to listen attentively and identify what the speaker speaks well and provide a constructive recommendations or that will help them grow. So I'll be evaluating under 3 categories. First, the content, second is the delivery, and third is the language. So based on these 3 categories, I'll be showing you as to how effectively the message reaches the audience. So I look forward to hearing his speech, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Toastmaster Sanskar, if you can show the title, please.
So the title of the speech is Man of Steel.
Sorry?
Man of Steel.
Man of?
Man of Steel.
Superman.
Man of Steel. Steel.
Man of Steel. Okay.
Loha.
I was going with the punchline, yeah.
Toastmaster Sanskar, Man of Steel, Toastmaster Sanskar.
So a disclaimer before Toastmaster Anshuman starts this timer. Just like Toastmaster Vineet, I'm making my speech after a long time, and I have lost that touch of making the speeches. So this will be my first speech. Thank you all for joining in and listening to my speech. It's a great pleasure to make speech with such an audience with all the tag roles here. And with that, I'll start. And Toastmaster Anshuman, you can start. So, listening to the title, Man of Steel, I think I can stand by everyone here, and I can say that everyone here assumed that by Man of Steel, I was pointing it out to Superman. But if we were all Superman, but if we were all had superpowers, then we won't be human beings. And unfortunately, being we are humans, we are machines designed to work in these lives. Just like a human being, it's always has to persevere and go through the challenges in life and has to make up a decision of waking up every day, going to work, and making the best for his family. I've yet to do so. And here comes the main part, discipline. Discipline also is always the key. Why? Because even if motivation comes in, it only stays for a temporary time. When you lose all your excitement, and all enlightenment. You are not able to go through it every day. You'll feel lost. But when discipline comes in, it makes uh, it makes a man disciplined with his work, with his life, taking responsibilities, and going further. And the second principle being the enormity of facing the courage, even in the presence of fear. It's through moving in life, even in fear. I've been facing the fear of attending Toastmasters since my last year. That maybe everyone would laugh at me, I would be judged, and I still think so right now as well. But with time, with discipline, and the courage to move forward, I think we can all improve as human beings. I can still think of the day when I can make a speech on that stage, just like Toastmaster Akansha did, even above Toastmaster Akansha. But that is my goal, not just speeches, but moving forward my career. Currently, I've been facing the fear of not moving forward. I've been really disciplined with my exercises, gym, and whatnot. But I still face the day where, with such a such a job market, I still face the fear that would I even get a job? Would I have the money to support my family if I get into it? Would I ever have would I ever have my own family? So I still fear these. I still face these fears every day, thinking that everything would just go for the worse. But then I also still wake up every day thinking that I have to make the best of the day. Still think of the present and move in that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you that if being a human being with all the powers, we would still not have the fear, we would still not have the fun of being the human beings. Because it would take out the part where humans try to achieve perfection, and that is what makes us human beings. And that is it for me. Thank you.
Amazing speech, Toastmaster Sanskar. And I'm sure, like now, knowing about the whole quadrants which we have discussed in Heisenhower matrix, you will be able to decide better for yourself that to start a family, you might need to plan. That will fall in quadrant two. Do you require to be stressed out? Absolutely no. Quadrant 4, delete it. If you need some help, which person you want to select, or you need some help, quadrant 3 is yours, dedicated to your family and friends, what's best for you. And what you can do now, just relax and enjoy. So we have listened to some wonderful prepared speeches, and those had, some days, sometimes weeks to observe, think, and revise and practice. And today, but we had impromptu. You are peacefully enjoying the meeting, and now you suddenly hear your name. In the next segment, anyone is calling up your name. Can you come forward for the table topics? For a flip of seconds, your mind will go blank, right? So, what happened next? Without realizing, your brain um, follows one of the more your sorry without realizing, your brain will follow one of the most effective decision making framework. Now coming to the second framework, that's OODA loop. Any one of you have ever heard of OODA? I can see people now switched off. Only I can see Toastmaster Vineet and Vidu with me. May I have everyone? Would be great to at least see if you're nodding to know that you don't know or not aware of the topic. So we have covered Eisenhower metrics. Now I would be taking you through the OODA loop. Any of you have heard of OODA? It's OODA, more like out of office. It's not triple O, but OODA. OODA stands for observe. Observe that what has changed. Like you hear questions, you listen carefully, and you gather the information about it. Then comes orient. Why did it change? It takes you connect with the topic of with your own experience, values, or stories. And then you ask yourself, what can I relate to this? Then comes D, decide. After understanding what has changed, why did it change? Now you need to decide. Decide what? What should I do? So you can decide on what should I tell, whether I should tell a personal story, should I use humor, should I, use serious points, or choose your own direction. Then comes A, act, take an action. You step forward. You just trust yourself and begin with yourself. So the beauty of table topic is that there is no pause button, and you can't ask for 10 minutes to prepare. You will have to be spontaneous. You observe, orient, decide, and act all within a few seconds. And it is exactly what the life, ask all of us. A surprise interview question, unexpected client meetings, and difficult conversation with friends, and sudden change in plan. And life really give us the luxury, and life doesn't always give us a luxury of perfect preparations. And in many ways, table topic session is a safe playground for all of us to practice uh, making better decision making under the pressure. So with this, to guide us through this exciting exercise, I had now like to invite someone who has carefully observed today's meeting, oriented today's topics, and decide on thought-provoking questions or topics for us. And now it's your time to act. Please help me welcome the table topic master, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yashi, for the wonderful introduction. Okay, we can start. So who want to go first? Sorry. Or I have to choose
Toastmaster Anshuman.
Toastmaster Anshuman or Toastmaster
There's
Soumya.
Sanskar.
No.
Guest to be Toastmaster or?
So we have Soumya, we have Ved. So we can maybe start with Ved, who's
Yeah.
joined this after a long while. Toastmaster Ved, do you want to kickstart our table topics? Toastmaster Ved, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Just like I can speak next. Give me like 30 seconds.
Okay.
So maybe Toastmaster Ved can be the second one. So,
Toastmaster Soumya can be the second one.
Soumya, you're Toastmaster or are you a guest?
Anshman, I think this would be my first session. I'm not sure what do I call myself.
fine.
So
That's okay. So we will start with Toastmaster Vidhu. Okay. Toastmaster Vidhu. Describe the happiest surprise you have ever received. Describe the happiest surprise you have ever received. Toastmaster Vidhu.
So when I went into the adulthood phase, I saw so many posts whenever a kid is born. People used to type in kudos to the little joy, and I always used to think, how is a child a joy to the entire family? Because at that point in time, I was never able to relate of how a kid who always keep asking for stuff, cries the entire day, can be a bundle of joy for the entire family. And then the day came and I was blessed with a daughter. It took me an entire year to still figure out what is that bundle of joy. And then the surprise, which was the happiest moment of my life, which is how a kid make you feel complete, right? That was the moment. Give you examples. There are so many instances in my life now when I felt that being along with my daughter is the best time of the day, because apart from being around with your family, you feel important, versus when you're outside. There's so much of fabrication. So the surprise, coming back to the surprise, the happiest moment has been spending time with my daughter. With this, I will hand it over to you, Toastmaster Nancy.
Toastman Nancy, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Okay. Thanks, Anshuman. Right. Thanks, Toastmaster Vidhu, for your thoughts. I think spending time with kids is the best time, because you have so many back-to-back responsibilities in a day, and when you sit with them, it's all like you forget all the responsibilities of work, and you are in the happiest moment, because they are free minds and they don't have any tensions. You feel tension free with them. You learn with them how to be happy every time. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Vidhu. Toastmaster Ved, you're ready.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Toastmaster Ved. So, what is something society considers important that you think is not? What is something society considers important but you think is not? Toastmaster Ved.
What society thinks something important, but not I think that is important. There are lots of things which I believe that society thinks they are important. One is like, so I would talk about the one which I think the one of the most important. One thing that society thinks is being successful is one of the most important thing in life. And initially, when we are born and then we go to school, then we move to college, and then when we get job, we constantly chasing for the success. We constantly chasing for our career, constantly chasing for like whatever we think, whatever the society has conditioned us to chase. And then I think that we keep chasing things and we forget to live a life. And I certainly believe that the life's purpose is to live first. And and many times we forget that. And we constantly it's and many times we find that it's not in our control. Sometimes you feel that don't get stressed upon it, even though you get stressed upon it. And that is where you constantly keep yourself believing that this too shall pass. Life's purpose is to live first, not chase the success. Make your own success. It's not about that. Maybe like contemplate over it, think about what is the things that makes you happy, what are the things that you want to do, and figure out them, take a stab at them, try them. Even if you being unsuccessful at them, you will learn something, you will enjoy that you have done something. And the message that I want to impart to the audience, that is that don't believe in the society's notion, question everything whatever you have believed so far. And it's okay to question and think about whatever is the thing that makes you happy, and try and start like taking step at them. Maybe you will get succeeded, maybe you will succeed, maybe you not, but just enjoy the process. And that's it. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Awesome thoughts, Ved. I think we don't need validations from society every time. The I think the first what we feel that it should in societies, if we consider society, success is the most important, but being happy is our first responsibility. We should be happy in what we are doing. Each and every line you mentioned was fantastic. Thank you, Toastmaster Ved. Toastmaster Mayank, you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay. Toastmaster Mayank, what is one risk you believe is always worth taking regardless of the outcome? What is one risk you believe is always worth taking regardless of the outcome? Or I would phrase in one way, what is one risk you took that was worth taking regardless of the outcome that you felt?
Toastmaster Nancy, thank you so much for giving a topic on risk to a risk guy. Risk is something that I breathe in and out. And your Toastmaster will so agree with me. She's just trying to control a smile. One risk that I always take is the risk of joining Toastmasters meeting on a Saturday, on a working day, sitting in office, and just thinking that, oh, someone may not say, oh, what are you doing, Mayank, on a Saturday on an office call, but on a public forum on a outside. But it is the risk that I take because I believe in continuous development of myself, um, because communication is something which is the backbone, right? When a child is right from day one, when he whines and cries to until your last wish, communicating, clear communicating, giving thoughts, emotions, and running down your boss at any point of time, and having that conversation on any unplanned topic. So attending a Toastmaster meeting is that risk that I always take, and I think I've been taking for the last 4 or 5 years, no matter when, where, how, and what opportunities strike. That's all from my side. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Anthony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayank. Yeah, that's worth taking, and I think outcome is also great if we attend. Thank you, Toastmaster Mayank. Toastmaster Ashutosh, you want to go next?
Yes, sure.
Toastmaster Ashutosh, would you rather have brilliant boss or a kind boss? Would you rather have brilliant boss or a kind boss, Toastmaster Ashutosh?
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy. It's a very interesting topic, something close to my heart. Choosing an option of boss, whether a kind boss or a brilliant boss. So the reality of life is you never get an option to choose boss, whether kind, unkind, brutal, or a wise one. But having sailed through various variety of watches, considering my gray hairs in my beard and the number of experience, I can say the nice bosses are it's a very risky trade to have a nice boss, because if with a nice boss you are not able to get the clarity of the mindset of your boss or the management, that they are thinking about you. He's trying to be nice to you so that you don't feel hurt at the moment, but eventually it might be damaging for your career in the company or outside. You need to have a boss who is very assertive in his communication about your conduct in the company. Whether if you are growing, he should appreciate. If you're not growing, he should articulate the learning curve very clearly to you for any course correction requirement. Also, having dealt myself through various situations, and even myself now managing a team, I don't I know it's very difficult trait to wear one of the shoes as a boss, either be nice or be straightforward and not so nice, and be clear. So because it's all about human connections. If I'm not nice, I'm just communicating on some things which are not appreciated, not liked for the moment, then it's very difficult to get the work done from the team. So it's a difficult trait, but I try to manage myself as a boss, and then as if I can call myself as a boss with a team which I work with, and I try to be more empathetic, even if while communicating something which is not in the liked due to the nature of the communication. So that's it from my side. I guess it's a difficult thing, and if I have a choice, I think this flipping a coin will be a good suggestion to figure out the way to being one of them. Okay, that's it from my side, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Yeah, being kind, I think it does not work always. Sometimes you have to be kind, but not every time, because you have to be straightforward in situations as well where you need to answer, I mean, without being so kind to everyone. Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Toastmaster Sanskar, you want to go next?
Sure.
It's a funny one, Sanskar, for you. What's the most useless talent you possess? Most useless talent you possess. Toastmaster Sanskar.
Hmm. Um, a tough one, really. Okay, something. So, could you repeat the table topic?
I can tweak it, maybe.
Yeah. No, no, no,
So,
no. Repeat the table topic. Just repeat the
okay,
table topic.
you want
I'll
to
do
go.
this. Yeah, yeah.
What is the most useless talent you possess? Most useless talent.
Um. So in the modern world, so compared to the modern world, I'll say, and I'm just saying it's in my generation thing kind of thing. So a lot of, not a useless talent, but a unique talent, I might say, or just because I think myself different than others, is that I think I follow time while others are late on time. And I try to keep myself always 10 minutes before or 15 minutes before anything starts. And so a lot of times people just say to me that why are you 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the class? Well, again in college, I kind of in the starting of the semester I'll be before time, but then after time, well, when the teachers are also I'm not gelling well with the teachers and all that stuff is happening, then I'll think, but okay, maybe a little late is also then okay, maybe, but I think not rather than not rather than a useless talent, I'll say that as a unique talent compared to the rest. Not saying it's a must thing to have, but compared to the rest of my generation, I think being on time is the really unique talent being here. So that is it for me. Yeah, thank you.
That's a wonderful trait you have. I'll not say it's a useless talent, it's a very good trait you possess. And I mean, every moment of your life, you will be benefited by this trait of yours. Thank you, Toastmaster Sanskar. Toastmaster Vineet, you want to go next?
Sure.
Toastmaster Vineet.
Can't hear you.
What is one belief you once strongly held but later changed? What was one belief you once strongly held but later it got changed? Toastmaster Vineet.
That's a very difficult one, Toastmaster Nancy. What is the one strongest belief I had that later changed? Actually, yeah, during the time of COVID, I guess when everyone was inside their home doing nothing and just watching TV, and that's the only thing we were doing. Some of the people were trying to be spiritual and spiritual only. They were not doing anything else. At that time, I also came across a thought or a perception that just being spiritual and not doing anything else can help you, put you on the right path of your destiny and everything. And during that time, I also started doing that only. I just started being spiritual day and night. I'm just talking, I'm just thinking about God and trying to meditate and everything. Maybe that was the time where everybody was doing that only and didn't have any other option to do it. But after that period passed, I realized that instead of being spiritual, what you should focus is on your work. You put hard work in front of you, you try to invest in yourself. That's what actual meditation is, not the real meditation like ram 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 ram. No, I don't believe in that. If you putting day night your blood and sweat in trying to make change in something, trying to make change in yourself, in your family, in your status, in your character, and whatever you are doing, that's what the real meditation is. That's what I started believing later. Yeah. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Nancy.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Toastmaster Vineet. I think, yeah, being spiritual is fine, but whole day doing the same is not the right thing. I think we should put the right efforts where we want to improve and what we want to do in our life. So it should be a balance, right? Thank you, Toastmaster Vineet. Who is left? Toastmaster Anshuman. Are you there, Toastmaster Anshuman?
Yeah, I'm there. Toastmaster Nancy, how about like going with Toastmaster Yashi and Toastmaster Soumya? I don't know, Soumya, do you want to participate?
Somya, you want to go next or?
Oh, yeah. Nancy, I'm just observing, just what's going on in here.
Oh,
Today is my first session.
that's
Yes,
okay.
speaking is observing soon to be Toastmaster Soumya.
Okay.
In
Okay.
Toastmasters meeting, anyone can't be passive, including myself,
Okay.
who is trying to divert his
I'll
PT
be
to
able to
someone.
speak. I'll be able
Sure,
to speak
perfect.
up. Okay. What do you want me to go about it?
Yeah, Toastmaster Nancy, what?
Okay. Somya, it's easy one for you.
Okay.
Should social media have stricter regulations?
Mm-hmm.
Should social media have stricter regulations? Somya.
Okay. So I believe that social media should have stringent or strict regulations, because now that we are on the technology front, everybody in say starting from the age of 5, if you go about 60, everybody is leaning on it for everything. And guess what, I have uninstalled Instagram for about more than a month or so, because I feel that I'm spending too much time on it. I would want to focus my time on the other things, like learning part of it, or and that is one shift I would want to bring it for myself. Because at times I keep watching these reels on YouTube. You get that shorts, right? Shorts on YouTube Shorts. You can hide that as well, but what I'm doing here is that at times I don't know. I just said and do that all the time, and then later I feel that I should have spent my time on a useful thing rather than scrolling through all of these pages or something like that. Nancy, one thing at times feel is that usually plan my day in a way, my morning should go about like this, like evening should go go on in this format as such. Likewise, weekends as well. But I get occupied with household chores a lot, and yeah.
Thank you to we Toastmaster Somya for wonderful thoughts. Yeah. So I think, yeah, we should have few regulations while using the social media. I mean, putting everything, whatever on our mind, pointing anyone, I feel that should not be the case. There should be some limits. These days, what I have seen that we can put anything against anyone. There should be some regulations. And since you also mentioned that all the shorts are available to everyone, there should
Yes.
be some regulations for sure.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you, thank you to be Toastmaster
Thank
Somya.
you.
Who is left?
So we have Satyakit, we have Yashi, we have me. So
Sat-
maybe so
yeah,
yeah, yeah, right.
Satyakit. Toastmaster Satyakit. Tell us about a time when you were completely wrong. Tell us about a time when you were completely wrong, Toastmaster Satyakit.
I remember the day when it was probably 7 or 8 years back. It was a time when I was deciding which career path to take in, and the options, the choices were to go for the usual engineering and then go for start earning right after college, or go for a research based stream, which is basically integrated MSc, and then eventually go for a PhD. And essentially, uh, I was under the impression that research and all of the things that after the research, when you go to the PhD, it takes time for earning at a larger scale. If you're when you're comparing that with going for engineering or any sort of thing, and after that going for work. So that is the point when I valued money over everything else, finance over everything else. But looking at the hindsight, what is more critical, or rather, what is maybe equally critical, is also valuing the time and the energy and also the opportunities that you get. And on top of that, what's even more critical is the quality of the relationships and the quality of the social life that you have when you hit after college, right? So right now, for example, when I'm working at uh, basically I work at a manufacturing unit, which is slightly offbeat of location, which is a bit of a remote. At that point of time, when I made the decision, I did not think that, okay, so social life, social connection, network is something that's also equally important as that of finance. So this is something that I would like to teach myself, my younger self, that to understand, take myself forward another 10 or 15 years, that what would you prioritize after that 10 years, and then also make that decision based on those terms, based on those thought processes, because that will eventually show you what the enormity of life is. So, with that, I leave with you. What do you think your enormity of your life in the next 10 or 15 years will be? Over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satyakit. Yeah, you mentioned that studying and then focusing on your career is one part of life, but being social is also very, very important. I mean, it's not that you are only studying, you learn from people as well. The more you connect, the more you learn. So it should be balanced. You should learn from people and you should learn yourself as well. Thank you, Toastmaster Satyakit. Toastmaster Anshuman, you want to go next?
Yashi. Toastmaster Yashi.
Toastmaster Yeshi. If you had to swap lives with someone for a week, who would it be? Toastmaster Yashi.
If I have to swap my life with someone, this question is coming at a time when I'm going through a transition and transformation hits you. And when you are coming back from the rock bottom, I believe there are many people around you. You happen to see that what you don't want to become rather than what you want to become, because you generally happen to work on your foundation and you try to uh, regain the strength to come back stronger. So what I would do is I would not swap my life with only one person. As we go in Toastmasters saying that you can learn from everyone, you don't need one particular person to be your mentor or guide. I would have done the same when it comes to swapping life. I would have done a bit of everything because I'm a person who enjoys everything. It's not that I would not go enjoy connecting myself spiritually. I am someone who would also enjoy going to clubs and parties. I'm not someone who is just sticking to having a glass of water, but somebody who would enjoy fine dining experience. So I believe that would be very unfair of me to swap my life with just one person. Maybe the part of what I can resonate with different people for different thing. Somebody for knowledge, somebody for their orienting or orator skills. I would have done that. So thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Nancy.
That's true. We should not swap life with just one person because nobody is perfect. So we should get good things from everyone. I mean, okay, Toastmaster Anshuman, I think you are the
Yeah,
only one
right.
left now.
Yes, Tosman.
Toastmaster Anshuman, one thing that you learned from your child or from anyone's child, one thing that you learned from a child, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Becoming a parent definitely was a transformative experience for me, and any one of us who are parents in this room or have observed their relatives, their siblings, or anyone having a child, the life definitely transforms in multiple fashions, because when you see a child, you see the innocence, the the smile on his or her face, the life literally melts at that point of time, because that innocence, the presence in the current moment, is something extraordinary. And when you are in the presence of a child, you feel happy immediately. Why so? When a child is not bothered about the past or the future, is not bothered about what's going to happen, not going to happen, the child remains in the present moment. And that happiness is contagious. And that is something I keep on reminding myself when I see my child each and every day, is being in the present moment, living in the present moment is extremely crucial, because planning for the future or reflecting on the past may be important, but to live each moment to the best of the ability is something which really helps give one best to the moment. So definitely, if I there's one thing I keep on learning from my child day after day, is living in the present moment with the best of my ability. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Nancy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Living in the present moment and being happy always. Even if somebody is making fun of them, they are not embarrassed or they are not uh, against those people. They are just happy, and whatever comes to their mind, they say that. So there are many traits that we can learn from them. Okay, I
So
think
I'm being a little selfish here, Toastmaster Nancy, but I would definitely like another try because I really did not give the best of the Toastmaster table topics today.
okay, Toastmaster Sanskar, same topic again. What is the most useless trait you possess, Toastmaster Sanskar?
So, thinking deeply about this and coming up with the best answer I could. So, one of the most unique and useless talent which I possess is unbundling the wires whenever there is need because I don't like chaos. I like peace in my life, and whenever I see something which is not perfect in front of me, sorry for the background noise. When something is not perfect in front of me, and whenever I look at the bundled wires, it just sparks chaos in my mind, and it just raises my mind that I have to, sorry again, I have to kind of unbundle this, and so a lot of people who know me closely have seen me always unbundle those wires, and that is one of the most unique and useless talents I possess. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanskar. Can I give mine to your to you?
Sure,
I
sure.
have many wires to be unbundled. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Anybody left except me? I think everyone done. So who want to give topic to me?
We can't see video, Toastman Nancy. I don't know.
I don't know. Suddenly it stopped and I'm not able to switch on as well. I mean, from my side, I have switched on, but it's not working for me. I don't know what happened suddenly. I
Right. So
would need to restart, but I don't
no
know what
worries,
to
no
restart the
worries.
laptop.
Yeah.
That's all.
So Toastmaster Nancy, your weekend plans, Toastmaster Nancy.
Weekend plans. My weekend starts with Toastmaster meeting. Not with Toastmaster meeting. Before that, I go for a workout, then my breakfast, then I sit for Toastmaster meeting, then there are a few classes that my kids attend and going with them for the classes, and then we go for shopping or new places near and new places or the places where we like to go every week, maybe to some park or for fun zone where we go. So there are a lot many activities that we do. It's all uh, weekends are also packed if I compare with weekdays. So everything is managed, and next 2 hours we have to do this, next 2 hours we have to do this. It's all planned. But one thing I feel that we should be doing over the weekend, that one day maybe we should plan to go outside NCR as well, to any new place within I mean nearby, to 3-4 hours distance. We should explore new places, which we have not been doing. So that's how our weekend plans generally are. And sometimes if I get a chance, I bought few books and I get a chance and I read. I like reading books as well. That's all about my weekend plans. Back to you, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Toastman Nancy, for sharing your quite an exciting weekend plan. I hope you materialize it again this week. All right, over to you, Toastmaster Yashi, to take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy, for sharing such wonderful, thought-provoking topics with all of us that we all have acted upon. Who says we don't get second chances? You join Toastmasters, and every meeting becomes your next chance to practice and to the stage becomes yours. Now we have explored how to prioritize our work with an Eisenhower matrix, and we have learned how to think quickly with OODA loop, right? Now, as we move towards the evaluation segment for today's meeting, I'd like to introduce one final framework that has transformed the way many leaders take decisions. It is called 10-10-10 rules, created by author Susie Welch. And whenever we are faced with a decision, ask yourself three important questions, which I observed that during the throughout the meeting today, I am able to hear from couple of speakers as well. 10 minutes from now, is it going to work? 10 months from now, is it going to work? And 10 years from now, what's then? I like everyone to participate. Think about this question. Have you ever avoided giving someone honest feedback because you didn't want an awkward conversation afterwards? Right? Think about it and you may be saying the yes or no. In the next 10 minutes, avoiding that conversation feels comfortable. But in the next 10 months, that problem usually becomes bigger. And in the next 10 years, you may wish you have spoken earlier, sooner. Now, that brings us to the toast. Now, let's bring this to our Toastmasters journey. Imagine your very first speech. Perhaps your evaluator suggested slow down, maintain that eye contact, reduce filler words, and use more vocal variety. At that moment, how did it feel? So, probably uncomfortable. Nobody enjoys hearing about their mistakes. 10 months later, those suggestions may help you become a more confident speaker. And 10 years later, those lessons may have, shaped the communicator, leader, and mentor or district leader you have already become. That is a true power of evaluation. And with that, now it's time for the team that has carefully observing our meeting, listening with intent, and preparing thoughtful feedback, not just for today, but for our future growth. Please help me welcoming our general evaluator, Toastmaster Ashutosh, for the evaluation segment for today's meeting. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yashi. So I think it will be a difficult task for making the evaluation today, given the context of the quality of meeting and the quality of speeches, table topics delivered, and of course the wonderful theme selected by you. But then I will try to make the attempt. And in the order of precedence, before we move to the actual evaluation, wherein we give the report, we means me and my tag team give the report on the conduct of the meeting. I would like to invite the evaluators for the speeches in order of the speeches delivered, and then moving ahead with the further evaluation. So for the first speaker, number one, Toastmaster Vineet, I would like to invite Toastmaster Vidu to evaluate his speech. Toastmaster Vidu.
It's going to be me,
Oh, I'm so
Toastmaster
sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Ashutosh.
It's Toastmaster Anshuman. Yes.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Ashutosh, and what a wonderful speech, Toastmaster Vineet. Returning back after a while and giving a speech, it did not feel that you're doing that activity of giving a speech after a while. You have, as we have often spoken about, that gift of gab of speaking on the spot, having that prowess, that gravity to share a message which you desire to. Maybe it comes from your background, maybe it comes from your sales activities that you've been pursuing, but you definitely have that gift of gab, of speaking articulately, of speaking clearly, of speaking confidently with the camera. And you utilize it to the best today when you were you started with the contemplation bit of what should be the theme of the speech. Then you talked about flipping a coin and what the metaphor of flipping a coin means in your life and in our lives, and how decisions can be taken with respect to that. And the message definitely landed. And overall, the narrative that you are sharing with the pacing and articulation landed through. To challenge yourself for the future speeches, number one is a structure part. I know you were returning after a while, you were contemplating, reflecting. The simple structure that we talked about is beginning, middle, end, or having that story, the hero's journey of going for a quest, talking about the quest itself through examples, through stories, facing challenges, then overcoming those challenges and becoming victorious. So, though, like you can deploy any of these frameworks, even for such undecided speeches, to bring it structure and that we can apply offline also to like presentations, to sales pitches of a framework. So for next time, you can choose any of the frameworks, and we are learning some of them today from Toastmaster Yashi to bring a structure to the speech and deliver. Second part, to elevate further, is pausing or vocal variety. So you can choose your weapon of choice of pausing for longer, giving ample pauses, or adding different kind of vocal variety tones, which can be high, low, medium, whispers, loudness, or doing those saregama pas or do re mi sa, whatever, bringing different tones to your speeches. So I look forward to your future speeches. So from a strength perspective, clear articulation, gravitas, clarity, confidence, looking at the camera, coming with the right message, where you can challenge yourself is putting a structure to the speech. And second is experimenting with pauses and vocal variety. All the best for your next speech, Toastmaster Vinny. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashutosh.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster and Shuman, for the detailed evaluation. So I would like to invite, it's my bad with memory, the Toastmaster Vidu, I guess, Toastmaster Vidu, for
Toastmaster
Satyakit.
oh, I'm so sorry for my
You
memory
really want
was
Toastmaster
weak.
Vidu to give a evaluation? You have to give an evaluation.
Okay, Toastmaster Satyagate to invite to evaluate speech of Toastmaster Sanskar.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh, for inviting me over and giving me the opportunity to evaluate Toastmaster Sanskar. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see how, first of all, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Sanskar for making such humongous comeback over here on the stage. And it takes courage to give a speech, deliver a speech, and this is what the essence of his entire speech was, ladies and gentlemen. And if you notice that the content was essentially really aligned with his topic. This is a Man of Steel, and it had two clarities and it had 2 points around it. It was not only Toastmaster Sanskar was authentic, but also he was vulnerable when he mentioned about the discipline and the courage. So it takes the vulnerability that any sort of leader is expected to show to his team or her team or to the audience. It creates a reality. And also, more than that, he had a great transition between the discipline and the fear segments. So, despite the fact that he was lacking the content of where will the next point of fear come in, he took a meaningful pause, and that pause essentially made us connect with what the idea of discipline was. And moving forward, that what can take Toastmaster Sanskar's speech to a whole new different level is if he can strengthen the structure. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just notice that there were a lot of things in the speech. There was discipline, there was courage, there was career, there was family, and there were a couple of anecdotes. But if we use those 1 2 anecdotes to structure it into a to tie it into a very crisp short story, that would essentially land the audience. That would take the audience, the message to a whole new different level. And and also you took pause in between, but if you would include more pauses in between the ideas, that will really make the audience retain all of the key messages that you have, because you had a very clear cut message. So all in all, it was a great comeback, Toastmaster Sanskar. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can observe, that the message was very clear, and some things that can keep the take the speech to a different level will is the structure and the pauses between the structure. And that's it from my side. All the best, Toastmaster Sanskar, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satyakit, for the detailed evaluation. So, okay, with that, we finished the evaluation of the speeches, and now we start the evaluation general evaluation of the meeting. So to begin with, I would invite Toastmaster again, Anshuman once again to submit the report of timer.
Thanks a lot, Usman Ashutosh. In terms of timing report for the speeches, Usman Vineet gave his speech in 7 minutes 21 seconds, Usman Sanskar in 4 minutes 32 seconds. Coming to table topics, Usman Vidhu at 1 minute 52, Ved at 2 minutes 22, Mayank at 1 minute 42, um, Ashutosh at 2 minute 11, Sanskar first attempt 1 minute 24, Vineet at 2 minutes 1 seconds, Soumya at 1 minute 21, Satyaket at 2 minutes 28, and Toastmaster Nancy at 1 minute 41 seconds. And Toastmaster Satyaket's evaluation in 2 minutes 43 seconds. That was for my timer report. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashutosh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. And further, I invite Toastmaster Vidhu. I guess now it's rightly pointed out for evaluating the language part over the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Vidhu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. In terms of the language evaluation, we have two speeches, Vineet and Sanskar. So, Sanskar, there was 9 hours and 2 long pauses and 2 times use of B to B repeatedly. Then, in terms of the table topics, we have faith, 1 time, 1 time, Ashutosh, 1 time, I, 1 time. 1 time Sanskar, 3 times 1 time. Week 1 time, sorry, there was going to be votes as well. Soumya 4 times, Satyaki 5 times, and 1 time long pause. Yashi, I got 1 Nancy, and then Nancy. The word of the day, enormity was used twice by Satyaki. So kudos to that. In terms of usage, overall, we had a lot of frequent speakers today. So a lot of the usages, words like downstream, recognizing, toggling, strings the more deliberate, contemplate, assertive, stringent regulations, and coming back to rock bottom. Happiness is contagious was one of the good usages. In terms of the improvement area, we have raised my mind instead of that. We could have used disturb my mind because it was negative being brought out. Like pleasure, we can have like great pleasure. And there were 2 sentences wherein the structure could have been improved in terms of move in that direction, move in that, and move in that direction is basically into the right way. Under a minute and under a minute. Probably this has been evaluation. 2 core key things which has come out in today's language evaluation is 1, be intentional with the word which we use. So make it simple, simple sentences, and avoiding filler words. So these are the 4 tools that are coming up for language evaluation. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Vidhu. So with that, we complete the TAC evaluation of timer and language. So now the general evaluation on my side, I can say the meetings well started in time, and all the aspects of meeting were in line. I would have not thought of the better meeting to be given for evaluating, wherein it's difficult to figure out the way, the parts wherein I stress upon for improvement. So right from the starting of meeting to the role players alignment and meeting members, the meeting all the role players, all the team meetings was fully inactive at the right time, and meeting started immediately in the flow. There was no breakage in terms of figuring out who will do what and when during the meeting. So I congratulate the planning team for setting up this meeting in the right direction. And moving on, the most important and most I would say the filler part of the meeting is the Toastmaster Yashi's today's role as to Toastmaster of the day. That meant as oxygen for the this meeting. The theme she has selected today, decision making process, and very in a detailed letting it to the parts of Toastmaster meeting. That would have been a difficult task, but I congratulate her to making it more in line with what a Toastmasters meeting and what Toastmasters can take up from this the theme of the meeting. If, whether you are a Toastmaster or to be Toastmaster, there is a learning opportunity for all of us, including relating the subtopics from the Toastmaster of the day theme to the individual role players. Like you have the Heinz-Town quadrant thing which you mentioned, the different quadrants, thought process, and what and relating it to the delivering a speech is a wonderful learning trait. And I personally have taken a lot of inputs, and I am now excited and finally planning to make myself deliver speech maybe in the next meeting. I planned a lot of times, but I again fall into the backward quadrants. But now this time I wanted to be in the front quadrants and deliver a speech myself. And the other second thought, the concept which you mentioned, Odoo do, is very well in line with the Toastmaster table topics which you mentioned, that selecting the table topic content in line with the acronyms of Odoo is very relatable. And finally, on even you touched upon the evaluation topic, the 10-10-10, whatever matters is for immediate or for later consequence has to be taken for reference. And I think the overall this was the best part of the meeting, and I personally enjoyed having you heard at length and with full focus. And even I missed remembering the evaluator names, and that's not good on my part. And further moving on, the speech is also very well structured. I would like to say that the speeches were well structured, and the Toastmaster uh, Sanskar and Toastmaster Vinay gave right speeches, and very rightly evaluated by Vineet, sorry, speeches and evaluated well by speech evaluators. And the table topics was also a very interesting theme, run at a length, and Toastmaster Nancy encouraged everyone to speak, not miss either of us. And even Toastmaster Sanskar took it in sense that to deliver it the second time, even though the time was running out of time. So this is what one feedback I would like to make, that attempt is an attempt. There is always a second opportunity to. So if most of the times when we have delivered a topic, it's always an opportunity to come back more stronger in the follow-up meetings. It's okay if there is a if you there was a was the light was not falling well today on us, so it is okay to to accept that and move on with whatever we have done. So that could have been avoided as I think so. Otherwise, the table topics choices of table topics and deliveries of table topics by all the participants were very well in time and to the context of the topic. So that's it from my side, and looking forward to further more interesting meetings like this. And over to you, Toastmaster of the day, again.
Thank you, General Evaluator, and thank you to your entire team for the insightful and observation and constructive feedback that you have shared with all of us. The constructive feedback may sting for 10 minutes, but that's the essence of growth, and it can transform for the next 10 years. And that's why Toastmasters are so special, right? So we don't evaluate to criticize, we evaluate to evaluate. So, today we have just attended a meeting. We experienced three different ways of decision making. The first one came from the Eisenhower metrics. We learned that success does not, come from constantly reacting to urgent tasks. It comes from investing time in things that are important but not yet urgent, whether it's preparing a speech, improving our health, spending time with family, our future shaped by the priorities we choose today. And in our second lesson came from Uda loop. observe, orient, decide, and act. We saw it beautifully during the table topics that every participant had only few seconds to prepare, to think, and to demonstrate courage by stepping up and coming forward to speak. Life really gives us the perfect preparation. It rewards those who are willing to adapt. And our final lesson come from 10-10-10 rule. Some decisions feel uncomfortable today, giving a speech, receiving an evaluation, accepting feedback. But if those moments help us become a better communicator and a better leader, then perhaps the discomfort of 10 minutes is worth the growth of 10 years. And I like to leave everyone with one final question. Think about one decision you have been postponing. Maybe Toastmasters or guests, Soumya, for you, maybe joining Toastmasters. For those who are already Toastmasters, taking up more roles to completing your pathway projects. If you are already doing so, maybe mentoring a member who would require your support, starting your fitness journey. That's for me personally. Calling someone who you have been meaning to reconnect with, and ask yourself, how will you feel to make that decision today, in the 10 minutes, in the next 10 months, and in the 10 years. I came across a beautiful quote that I would like to share with all of you. We are the sum of our decisions, not our intentions. And this is something which is going to stay for long with me, I know, for sure, because what we are going to choose today is going to what's coming next for us. So, with this, I would like to now hand over the stage to our presiding officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yashi. It has been a wonderful session today. Every minute you spent today was worth being here. And what a blast to a weekend. I'm looking forward to such heavily packed learning sessions where everybody get a chance to talk, everybody get a chance to learn in the same meeting parallelly. And kudos to you, TMR Yashi, for bringing up such an important topic. I think we all are right now in that phase where we have to choose which model is adaptable for us, and then take that decision accordingly. Thank you all. Appreciate all the effort by all the role players, speakers, evaluators. Everybody has given 100% in today's meeting. Looking forward to such great meetings going forward. With this, I would now call this meeting. So, Anshuman, anything else?